So I know that a lot of you are going, oh, they're back. We had such a great reaction to both of you on the channel that I had to call you back for this Meghan Markle video that has truly broken the internet. And I'm assuming, Dr. G, that you might suggest that was the ultimate objective here.
I think you're spot on with that. Yeah, I think that was largely the point of recording this in the first place.
So you're like straight to the point. She wants to go viral. Scott, when you watched this video, and I might every once in a while pull it up. I apologize in advance to not only you, but the viewers at home. When you initially saw this video pop up on your algorithm organically, I'm assuming, because it really did just go, it bounced off the walls. Did you think it
Mhm.
was a parody? Because I did, Scott. I thought that this was AI. I thought this cannot be real.
The reason I didn't think it was AI is because it looks like the stomach is fake, where the baby. I swear that's the first thing I thought because I know you have monitors and stuff on you
Yeah.
when you're in that situation. So she's got that dress over, but I thought, oh, this is just fake. I don't know why they're doing it. And I realized this is old. I thought it was something new, but it
Oh,
was something that's old, and it, a couple of years, I guess, or however old it is, and that it was just a bad decision. Is what
yeah.
what it hit me when I saw this. I was just a bad decision a couple of years ago.
Well, this will, to either one of you, please chime in. But to Scott's point, Harry and Meghan have dealt with conspiracy theories surrounding the birth of their children. And the reason that it's important to royal watchers is because for their children to be in the line of succession, they have to be born by Meghan Markle. It has to be Prince Harry's child. They can't use a surrogate. And so people are saying, we deserve to know if these children are in the line of succession, if they truly came from Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Now, they have never addressed the rumors head on. I don't think. I mean, I don't think in Spare, Prince Harry actually writes about the stance in Spare, but I don't think he ever addresses the rumors of whether Archie and Lily were born, came from Meghan Markle's womb. But it is something that I have always tried to be like, I don't want to talk about this. I look at Meghan Markle in that Oprah interview. I see a heavily pregnant and slightly angry woman. Um, so that's why these rumors continue to persist. Is like this conspiracy theory is out there. It's been out there for years. It's never been addressed head on. And both of you, please comment if you have anything to say. But I have read several experts, PR experts on the internet over the last few days that said this video did nothing to help that. In fact, it just reignites the conversation.
All right, folks, let's start with the clip. Meghan Markle in leggings, high ponytail, seemingly in great shape, dancing, twerking, and clearly having fun. She looks confident, she looks strong, but she also looks very, very unpregnant. And that's not just opinion. This video is being watched frame by frame, slowed down, zoomed in, and scrutinized.
Scott, do you have a reaction? And then Dr. G?
I believe it does reignite that situation because it doesn't look real to me. There's so much that's missing from this, as from a body language perspective. Of course, that's the first thing Dr. G and I look at is what's happening with this person. Him more from a psychological standpoint than me, but I'm not seeing any stress in there. I'm not seeing two people who are worried about having a baby. I don't see that connection between the husband and the wife, where he's saying, "Look, everything's going to be fine," because she should be scared to death. As over the years, I've seen so many little babies. I've been right there when they were born, and I've
Oh,
seen that interaction of the parents beforehand. I mean, an inordinate amount of times I've been there to do that. No kidding, and we're not seeing the things we should be seeing. There's too much smiling going on. Another thing that's the first place I go to what's missing. There's no anxiety in there. There's no worry in there. There's no eyebrows up and her trying to connect with him to be reassured. We don't see any of their personal items laying around the room anywhere when they're dancing around either. So that there's a lot of things that are missing in this that should be there. Way too much energy. They're missing that lack of being worn out because a lot of times it's either early in the morning or late at night. And they look well rested and in a good mood.
all right,
It
Dr.
doesn't look
G.
right to me.
Well, I'm glad you said it, Dr. G. You go ahead and go now.
So obviously I'm a psychologist, not a physician, so there may be physicians out there that are like, yeah, this is totally normal. Like, looks perfectly fine to me. But my anecdotal experience with my wife, who was very, very large during pregnancy, the idea of her moving like that would have been impossible. She just couldn't have done it. So, she was pale, she was swollen, she was very large at the time. The idea of her getting low like that, I just don't know if she physically could have done it. So it is shocking to me. It does look very strange. Like I said, there may be medical professionals that disagree and say it's totally normal, but to me, it looks quite odd.
I mean, but let's be honest, we are complimenting Meghan Markle on how low she can get. Okay, like
That's
let's
so true.
let's let's look at the glass half full situation here. Congratulations to Meghan. She was able to get pretty low. Uh, Scott, talk to me about the confidence you saw in her, because I saw a lot of confidence in Meghan, in her dancing, in her face, in her it's giving performance.
Yeah, and that's a focused performance as well. Again, she may be in a situation where they're inducing the birth, so she may not have been given this. She's not having contractions, I don't think, at this point, because she's not doesn't look worried that they're going to be more and it's going to be bad. We're seeing all this space between her arms and her torso. I've never seen someone who's getting ready to have a baby be all like their hands are very close, and their hands are close to their chest, their arms are close to their body. It's a protective thing we do, especially when you have that anxiety and that stress and that worry going. So the confidence we're seeing it's almost ridiculous. That's why it looks to me it doesn't look real from a standpoint of somebody being worried about their baby when that's going on. Neither one of them
Yeah.
does. So the eye contact she has with the camera, she's probably just watching herself.
Oh,
But the confidence through this thing is through the roof, because they're under the impression, I would think, that everybody's going to be watching this and look at this. We're having a baby, but man, we've got, whatever we got this covered and all that. But that's a bad look for anybody to do.
yeah, Dr. G, do you feel like they're making this for themselves or they're making this for the world?
To me, it looks pretty clear like they're doing this for an audience. It doesn't feel like something that they're doing for themselves that's meant to be intimate and funny that they can go back and watch later. It looks like they're doing it for an audience. And frankly, it looks like they're doing it to irritate. At least that's my takeaway. It's like knowing how inappropriate it is, knowing that people are going to see it, or knowing that the royal family will watch it and will feel like it's inappropriate and that it's not something that they should do or should be doing publicly. So to me, it seemed like it was as much to agitate as anything else.
Yeah, I think that you're onto something there. Because, Scott, we know, thanks to the timeline, that at this point in time, Harry and Meghan have signed a contract with Netflix, a very lucrative contract with Netflix. And they have been secretly recording for this big docuseries that was actually built up over years. They went through one production team, brought on a brand new production team. Almost at the very beginning of this series, you see Harry recording himself on his phone, getting ready for his freedom flight on Tyler Perry's private jet. They're escaping the evil royal family. Thanks to Tyler Perry, they're going to go live in his house for free during the plague. And we also see some other intimate moments clearly shot on an iPhone. Harry and Meghan watching themselves back on the Oprah Winfrey, during the Oprah Winfrey interview. Meghan's mom seems to be recording them on a cell phone as they're watching in a room their Oprah interview. So it does feel like while they say they want privacy, and while they sue newspapers for invading their privacy, and while they sue photographers for invading their privacy, it seems like they are stocking up on footage to inevitably shill. Like they're inevitably, I mean, I think this was perhaps recorded for the Netflix crew.
Let's remember, Meghan has claimed pregnancy timelines before that were extremely specific. Certain public appearances, even interviews, while allegedly well into her third trimester. Compare that to this footage and something just doesn't add up. Let's not pretend this is new. The moonbump theory has been circulating for years. Some dismissed it as internet trolling. Others, especially body language experts, maternity specialists, and independent journalists, have been documenting inconsistencies in Meghan's pregnancy appearances since 2018. There were moments where the bump seemed to deflate while she sat down, change shape between events, or, like in this new video, disappear altogether.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, there's something we can tell when something is authentic. That's just something that innately we do well as humans. We can't necessarily explain why, but we can look at it and go, there's something wrong about this. And that's what so much of what we see is it looks like it's a performance. It looks like it's something that's meant to be seen by other people. So that's very much how I see so much of what we see of them, is that even if it looks like it's supposed to be an intimate moment or something that's caught on camera, it's all set up, it's all prepared, and that's how it feels.
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh.
think they were very good actors.
I know that you have probably not seen this, but one of the most cringe parts of the docu-series is Meghan claims she doesn't know she's about to be proposed to, but she's on the phone with a girlfriend FaceTiming, and she takes the phone with her to this elaborate picnic setup Prince Harry has set up outside, and she's conveniently screen recording while FaceTiming. And Harry proposes to her, and it's supposed to be one of those authentic moments, and you're like, how are you conveniently already recording your screen while FaceTiming with a friend right before Prince Harry proposes to you? It's just hard for a normal person who doesn't live on camera. Of course, if my dog has all four paws up in the air, I whip out my cell phone. That's gorgeous. It's adorable. There's 3,000 pictures of my dog sleeping in my phone, but I don't walk around filming myself. And I am Meghan's age. It's just not something that I normally do.
What's the name of that, Dr. G? Isn't there something where people think that they're the star of their own show and everybody else is like they're like members or the second banana in the show?
What young people call it now is main character syndrome, basically.
That's it.
Which is the idea that they're the main character. And one thing I'm very curious about is there's so much of this, and I don't want to sidetrack us, but I do wonder if the younger generations, like the Gen Alpha and all that, will be able to identify what is and isn't authentic the same way that we can, in a sense, because so much of everything we see online is just fake. My reaction, like I said, immediately to these things is, yeah, it's set up, it's fake. They're not very good actors in that sense, but there's so much of that. There might be a point where people can't tell the difference anymore.
Well, Dr. G, sorry, Scott, I'm going to get to you in a second. I love you. It's to have main character energy is probably going to be pretty difficult in a royal family where you are the backup dancer. Like you are not the married to the heir. You are always going to be second fiddle. Does this explain a lot of why she I look at that video and I go, this is exactly why she was never going to fit into the royal family, because there's etiquette, there's decorum, there's, a lack of, like, let's avoid all vulgarity if we can. It's giving Fergie with her toes in somebody's mouth on the cover of a tabloid. But having main character energy, that might have been what tipped off Prince Charles at the time and Prince William, that this might not be the easiest ride.
Absolutely. I work with a lot of families in a therapeutic sense, and people who are unwilling to make any sacrifices to work with a family, to like make the family function better. Those people that think they're too important for that, that's going to create problems. And that very much seems that there is a complete unwillingness to make sacrifices for the family, particularly in public or anything else. So I think when you believe you're the main character, you don't need to make sacrifices. Everybody should see how important you are, and they should listen to you, and what you have to say is the be what everybody pays attention to. So yeah, I absolutely think that there's certainly a lack of insight. I mean, I also think about what's it going to be like when her kids see this video? Like, it just seems so, like, people can film whatever they want in private, but the idea of posting it just feels so vulgar and strange to me.
That's what I'm like. Do it. Have fun. I have fun and laugh about it in bed 10 years later. But this was to honor your daughter's 4th birthday. What a bizarre way. Like, twerking with your, like, I think Jeremy Kyle, when him and I watched it together for the first time, he's like, her ass is everywhere. I almost died. I want to ask you, Scott, I thought she sincerely looked like she was having fun. Dr. G is right. There's a lack of authenticity that she reeks of it. She should bottle that and sell it. It might do better than the jam. But I do think that she's vibing pretty high in this video.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with the narcissistic personality type, when you're in a situation like this where you're under the impression everybody's going to be seeing you in this ultra intimate moment that nobody else could see, and it's just you and the quote unquote prince there, you're in nirvana at that point because you're getting all this attention because you're a princess or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know what the story is on all that. I have no clue what she is or anything now. But you're the main focus of attention. Boy, that's where they want to be constantly. And another thing that we know that this is not just for each other and something that's slipped out or anything is because when you're in a situation like that and you have this intimate moment, you're not looking at the phone, you're not looking at the camera, you're looking at your person because you're goofing around for them. That's who the show is for. Whenever you, believe me, take it from a professional. I was a professional kid and I goofed off all the time. And so when you're goofing off with somebody, you dead eye them. You're like, hey man, as you're doing your goof off thing. And there's none of that. There is just for a couple of seconds, but there's not that connection there that should be there for those two.
And while that alone doesn't prove surrogacy, it does raise legitimate questions. Why no? That's the golden question. Why release a video like this now? Meghan hasn't been trending. Her lifestyle brand stalled. Spotify cut ties. The Netflix buzz has fizzled. And the public interest? Flatlining. So what grabs attention faster than a viral body movement moment that sparks controversy? Whether it's a PR distraction, an attempt at relatability, or sheer miscalculation, it worked. People are talking. But not in the way Meghan likely hoped.
It's like Meghan, the actor, realizes exactly what you said, that there should be more playfulness between the two of them for it to look authentic, because she goes, come on in, like she tries to pull him in. That's the moment of eye contact that you're talking about, very brief. It's almost like she recognizes, oh no, this will look better if we do look engaged with each other. And Harry's dance moves, I mean, first of all, this guy's not going to win Dancing with the Stars. Let's just get that out of the way right now. But do you think that he is volunteer? Is he consenting in this, or is he reluctantly jumping in? What can you tell about the body language, Scott, aside from the weak knees?
Another thing that stood out for me was this thing that I call and coined extra face. And then when you have extra face, it's the face that extras have in TV shows and movies. And if you look around in there in TV shows and movies, you'll see people with these weird smiles on their faces that don't go away. You see it in reality TV shows as well. My brother writes TV shows and movies, and he's a director for TV shows. And one time I went down to watch one of the shows he was directing, and he yelled cut or whatever he yelled. They said, hey man, let's get rid of that face, look normal. You get rid of the face, get rid of the smile. And he kept saying that. And finally he said, look, this whole table here, you guys got to get rid of that smile, because people sit there, they know they're being filmed and they want to look good.
Yeah.
And so they sit there with this weird thing like this. And it's a face you don't make out in the wild. When you're by yourself, when you're doing the face you're making when you're alone, it's just more like you're sitting around doing stuff and messing around your teeth, and you may cough and then dig in your mouth. So many things you do, but they don't do that, and we don't see any of that in here. And that face that she has, if you'll look at this, because I'm familiar with it now after you and I talked last, I've watched a lot of these things. That facial expression she has here is the same one she has in every other one when the camera is on her. Now, when the camera's not on her, I'm sure it's completely different, as it is with everyone else. But when you have extra face, which is, I believe, what we're seeing on both of them, there's that weird little smile, or that smile you do for your camera smile, the one you've practiced, rehearsed, and prepared to show the world. I think that's what's going on there.
So interesting. I'm going to stay on you for a second, Scott. I want your expert opinion on this, as somebody that excelled in the music industry and in the entertainment world, even with your background with your brother. Dr. G, I want this from just I want your casual reaction to this. Do you think that this video hurts or helps the Sussex brand when it comes to rehabilitating their reputations, Scott? Because we've heard that they've put together this new team of 11. They're trying to structure them like a royal court, and their ultimate objective is to rehabilitate their image. And you watch this, and it does seem like they're sitting around a table, a large King Arthur's type table. And, the new girl raises her hand and says, do you have any videos that make you guys look normal, likable? And Meghan's like, oh, sure, let me pull this one out. Because this was a trend, dancing to this song years ago. And I just think it failed so spectacularly, to the point where, as the hours passed, I thought she was going to jump on the internet and say her cloud had been hacked, and she was going to try to make herself out to be the victim because I thought this was such a poor lack of judgment. So Scott, where do you because you surprised me last time we talked, and you said all publicity is good publicity almost. You said, I think that they eat this stuff up. So do you still feel that way now after watching this video?
When you told me to look at it from the perspective of someone who'd been in a situation where you had to deal with artists, in other words, and say, here's what's good for you and here's what's not good for you, because almost all publicity is good publicity, whether it's good or bad, because they just remember your name.
Yeah.
They just remember that you're just in the zeitgeist of what's going on. All right. To give people who are watching a little background, I was a record producer for a long time, and I've been nominated for a Grammy more than anybody without winning one, but I'm not bitter. So keep that in mind. So I'm very familiar with artists and how they are treated and how they act in those situations. One thing that I always made sure of when we had a company, a publicity company or marketing company that was dealing with someone and they were dealing with them personally, like their people deal with them and these people they're trying to gather up, you must have two people in this group that you don't like and they don't like you. I'm not trying to be funny. You've got to have two people you just can't hardly stand and that just are, and those two people have to find you disgusting. So they are honest with you because they're the ones that aren't going to go, oh no, you're beautiful and you're pregnant. You're this, you're that. You want somebody to go, dude, that's goofy.
Yeah.
Tell them it's goofy. And if nobody will tell them, you say, nobody wants to tell you this, but this is goofy. Don't do it. This is bad. And people may go, oh, dude, why are you causing these problems? You want that person. You want those, and you need to have two of them to back that other one up. Because if that one starts changing its mind or starts to get tamped down and think they're going to lose their job or something, you want that other one to stand and go, no, this is stupid. This is the worst thing you can do right now. We're starting whatever your plan is, and then introduce that plan. But when you go to something like that, you must have somebody that doesn't like you in there. As weird and as against what should be happening as it sounds, that's what you need. You need that somebody to go up against what you're saying. And I don't think they have that, not even a little bit.
This wasn't empowerment. This was enragement. And it proves that the Sussex brand no longer controls the narrative. This isn't just about a twerk. It's about years of selective access, hidden details, and overproduced media moments. Meghan and Harry have gone out of their way to shield their children from cameras, avoid birth documentation, and skip standard royal protocols around pregnancies and newborns. So when you look at this clip, you're not just seeing a lack of a bump. You're seeing a pattern. One that includes no delivery photos, no medical professionals interviewed, no documented hospital stays, carefully staged baby photos, multiple bump inconsistencies on camera, and now, a viral moment that looks like a smoking gun.
No. So do you agree that this video is not the right direction to, I definitely changed my opinion of them, but it made it even lower, which I didn't even think was possible, Scott.
Mine didn't change at all. I decided what this was a long time. I'm sure maybe you did too, Dr. J. I'm not going to say here's what you thought a long time ago. When you first see something like that, you say, oh, I can see where this is going. I know what kind of personality type this might possibly be. And then it just gets worse, 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 and worse. And we're seeing it just get worse and worse and worse. They're actually going back in time to grab things that were worse than what I don't know if this is worse than that Jamie Lee Kermit. I can't.
Oh,
Kermit.
I can do the impression for you.
I don't know if it's worse than that, but it goes in the same box. You'd put those. Hey, where's all the stuff we shouldn't put out? There's a box for that. And that's one of those two people I was telling you about would come in and go, put that in the box, man. Don't put that in the box.
Yeah.
That's what's missing.
Dr. G.
Well, for what it's worth, the video does feel pretty on brand for her. It's just not going to bring anybody else to it. I don't think that it's going to make anybody go, yeah, like I like her more now. It's interesting because when people make decisions, like when we have critically thought through something, whether it's like we like somebody or who we're going to vote for, or whatever it is, our opinion is very, very difficult to change then. And this certainly is not going to be the kind of evidence that's going to help people that didn't like her before ever be willing to change their minds about that. So, and the people that do support her probably are not going to think twice about it. I don't think it's going to make many people go, I don't like her anymore, if they were already supporting her and were already full on camp Meghan Markle. So, I don't imagine that it's going to make a lot of people change their mind about her. But yeah, it certainly doesn't help them. That's for sure.
I think that what I meant by it is I tried to keep a level of respect when talking about them because they are related to the royal family, and that's out the window now. Like now I all I can see her as is the girl auditioning for the Shakira music video, the girl that the headshot, her Suits, where I did give her, I don't want to say I gave her the benefit of the doubt, but I do think that I was more respectful when speaking about them previously because I was trying to also respect the monarchy. And now I'm like, ties are severed because no one that will ever have anything to do with the monarchy again would let that out. It's just so vulgar to me. It's so inappropriate to me. So I wonder, because I saw new headlines today about Harry and Meghan announcing that they're donating to a new charity, a rare charity mention from this couple. I'll start with Scott. What's your feeling about an oversaturation? Should Meghan take a step back? She's curating her own headlines daily. It's no longer the tabloids just pumping stuff out that's from 3 years ago or whatever. Now she's doing this. Is she annoying the public? In 1 week, we had, just kidding, I'm not restocking my, she told Fast Company last week and Tina Knowles in her podcast this week that she was going to pause on As Ever. Well, this week she posts on Instagram, just kidding, I'm restocking. You are in fact getting new product. So she contradicts herself. But this week we're also getting a brand new interview with Tina Knowles. We get new pictures of Lily, her child. We get the dancing video. Today, there was a release sent out about a new donation. I'm overwhelmed with them to the point where I can't stand them. From an entertainment perspective, is that a possibility? Is that something they should be concerned about?
Yeah, going back to being a record producer and dealing with those same situations with music artists, you can usually tell when you've got an artist and they're going to that will last from 2 to 5 years, and in the 2 years they're going to peak and everybody's going to, oh my gosh, here's the newest biggest thing, and that next 3 years are going to go down to that you peak and then you go down and you just level off. You've got a little line going there.
Let's talk about the reaction. Twitter exploded. TikTokers posted slow-mo breakdowns. YouTubers compared bump appearances like CSI investigators. Even some longtime Sussex supporters are saying, okay, this is getting weird. There's a clear divide now between the casual defenders and those who've been paying attention to the contradictions from day one. And this video brought those fault lines back into the spotlight. And here's what makes it worse. The royals still haven't addressed the birth rumors. Not once. Not officially. Not even indirectly. They've maintained a palace policy of silence, likely hoping the drama would fade away. But it hasn't. It's just evolved. By choosing silence, they allowed the mystery to grow, and Meghan, knowingly or not, just poured gasoline on it. At the end of the day, this twerk video might be fun, bold, and attention-grabbing, but it's also a PR disaster. Because it contradicts too much. It reminds people of the questions they were told not to ask. And it further chips away at the credibility of a woman who built a media empire on the image of motherhood. Authenticity matters. Transparency matters. And if Meghan Markle is trying to re-enter the public spotlight, this was the worst possible way to do it.